Hello FCS 2250 computer application students, Mr. Lang here, and this tutorial is about Cirrus. I'm going to get into Cirrus and kind of show you around a little bit. I will have another tutorial discussing kind of the due dates of when you have to have what done, but this particular tutorial is in regards to just Cirrus itself, kind of how things are set up, how to activate things, and work your way around Cirrus. So let's go ahead and dive in. So you should have your account, and you're going to sign in with your Western email and the password that you created during the activation process. If you have not activated your account yet, please watch my previous tutorial in regards to how do I activate, how do I get this activation code, and how do I do that. So please watch that tutorial. But we're going to go ahead and get signed in here. And take me a second here, and this is the course that I'm enrolled in here. It should pop up. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and choose my course. Now, you won't see this because you've already signed up for your particular course, but I got a few different courses that I have access to. And so again, you're going to go ahead and get signed in. And so here we are in Cirrus, all right? And I'm going to jump into right away Microsoft Word. We're going to pay attention to Excel over here as well, PowerPoint and Access and final exams. These are going to be very important for you as well as your gradebook. I will have another tutorial based on the gradebook. However, just an FYI, this gradebook is temporary and it's not going to be 100% accurate, because what I'll do is I will download the data from here. I will upload that into e-learning. So in e-learning, that is where you really want to check your grades, and I'll have another tutorial on checking your grades. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and click on Word. All right, and it brings me to kind of this menu here. All right, we have 3 sections in Word, sections 1, 2, and 3. All right, from creating and editing a document to formatting and enhancing a document. You're also going to see that we have a final exam right here. I will discuss that very briefly here in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and, hey, we're going to begin with section 1, creating and editing a document. Now, I will tell you this, there's a lot of links here that are used for, these are at your discretion. All right, you do not have to use them, or you know what, you're really having a difficult time on autocorrect and the thesaurus. You can go ahead and take a look at this, and it will break it down much deeper for you. They will probably have some tutorials, some videos in there. Again, these are great resources, all right, but those are just resources for you. These down here are what you will be graded on, okay? Your exercises and your skills check exam, your project exam, and your concept exam, all right? So let's first start with exercises. This is where you want to begin. So I'll click on exercises, and we've got 2 of them. You're going to want to complete both exercise 1 and exercise 2. So you got to complete both of these. But let me go ahead and launch this. And it takes a second here, but this will pop up and it will tell me that I have unlimited attempts. You can do this one time, and if you get, let's just say it's out of 10 points. If you get a 10 out of 10, great. If you take it the first time and get a 5 on it and you want to redo it, you can redo it. The second time you get an 8 on it. The third time you get a 4 on it. It keeps that best grade. It keeps that 8. And then you want to do it again for the 5th time and finally get that 10 out of 10. You can do it as many times as you want. And truthfully, all my assignments are set up that way. From the exams to the final exams to everything. It's unlimited. And my reasoning behind that is I want you guys to learn. I want, hey, if you make a mistake, hey, we're going to make mistakes. No doubt about it. Go back and you can work on those mistakes and complete this as many times as you want. I also have this office help enabled for each assignment, and I will demonstrate that here shortly. So I just clicked on preview, and it takes a second, but this will pop up. And again, depending on your network speed, so if you're working on, if you're in your apartment and you've got all your roommates using your bandwidth, playing virtual reality games and whatnot, playing some war games or something, they're taking all the bandwidth, you may need to find a network that has a little bit more bandwidth. So that way you can access this content a little quicker. So I'm going to pause this until this loads up. It doesn't take too long. It takes just a little bit, but eventually it will load up. Okay, so it just loaded up here, and this is the screen that you will see to begin with. And you can read through this information, all right? Kind of just tells you just a little bit about the assignment itself. I'm going to choose Next here, and you can see that I have unlimited time remaining and unlimited attempts. Again, this is the same for every single assignment. Any assignment that you work on, you have unlimited attempts. All right, and so we'll begin. So what I like to do when I jump into here, first of all, is I like to go full screen. So if you look over here in the upper left, it says full screen. That way it kind of embed me and make me look like I'm really into a Microsoft Word document. And sometimes it takes a second for it to do. And if it doesn't do it the first time, hey, try it a second time. So I just close that, and there we go. Well, it looked like it was going to do that for a second. I'm not sure why on mine. Again, I'm presenting. That's why it's having a difficult time, but it is not doing full screen. Not 100% sure why. But anyway, I have the instructions right here. Okay, so it's asking us to complete this instruction here. If you're reading that instruction and you're like, you know what, I'm not 100% sure what they mean by this right here, what I love to do is, this is the Office enabled help that I was mentioning. So if you click on that light bulb here, it will then tell you, it will break it down a little bit more from position that insertion point after the word, but before the word Wasatch. After the word but before the word Wasatch. So again, in your first sentence, you're going to look for Wasatch, all right, right there, and before it. So my insertion point is directly before it, all right, and you are going to then insert the word beautiful, and then as it says here, type beautiful and then press the space bar once or one time, all right. So you would complete that direction. All right, once you're done with that, you'll go to next, and it will bring up question number 2 here, or task number 2, and it will tell you what to do here, all right. And if you are not sure, you would click the light bulb, and again, it kind of breaks it down a little bit more. Select this, do this, press your delete key. It kind of breaks it down a little bit more into more usable information, all right. So when you're done with that direction, you will choose next, and then it will kind of tell you what to do here. Again, the task is enabled here, or the help. I can click that help, and there's a few directions here that you'd want to go through and make sure that you complete. So again, this is some basic stuff, and some people can complete it just by looking at this, and some people need it broken down a little bit more, all right? Click to the left of the title. So again, you're going to go right to the title and click to the left of it. Click the editor button in the editor group on the home tab. So here's my home tab, here's my editing group, all right, and the edit button. All right, so hold on one second. My bad, I was looking in the editing and not the editor. So you got to read the directions in the editor group. So anyways, you'd click on the editor in the editor group. All right, it will bring some information up here about the editor. Sometimes your directions may be over the top of it. So sometimes I got to move these things around a little bit in order to see some of these editor tasks panes that load up. I've had that happen a few times. I'm like, okay, I clicked it. What just happened? Sometimes you may have to move things around a little bit. I may have to move that over to this side or something like that. So anyway, we got done with that direction. I can close that. I'm going to choose next. And we're on task 4 of 4. We've got some new directions. All right, we complete that. Now when I'm done with it, I'm going to choose check answer. All right, and what it does is it goes and it looks at your document and lets you know, did you complete all of this? Didn't you complete? What might you have gotten wrong? And so right here, again, you could probably see that I didn't do all of the problems there, so I do have a couple things wrong. So it will give me a printout of what I didn't do. So don't click any of this yet. Scroll down. It will usually put it on its second page. And here, I didn't complete directions 1, 2, 3, or 4 correctly. But you probably will have it where you completed directions 1 and 2 right, 3 you got wrong, but 4 you did right. So hey, you can just go back and do number 3. So what I would do here is I would choose return. It takes a second, but once I return, I can then go back to assignment 3. right there, task 3 of 4. I would look at the directions, maybe look at the task, the light bulb a little bit more, get the answer key over here, go through that a little bit slower. Okay, I see where I made my mistake. Make your changes, and then ultimately go back to 4. You don't have to do 4 again. You had it right. If it was wrong, redo that, and then check your answer again. And hopefully, if you knock on wood and all the planets align, that you have all of that right. But again, you have unlimited attempts. Let's say you're out of time and you've got to run. All right, you've got places to go. So when you get done with this, you can choose, okay, I'm done with it. I don't have time to fix that. I'm going to have to go and do it again, whatnot. So when this pops up in the lower left, you can just choose finished here. Now, does that mean you can't redo it again? No, it doesn't. It's just going to put that grade in the grade book, but you can redo it and it will give you an updated grade. So you can always go back and always go back to this word section 1, launch that exercise and do it. So anyways, here is your words section 2. You need to complete that exercise. Then you can go to this menu over here. This is your words section 1 menu. All right, and you would scroll down and say, okay, now I need to go through my skills check exam. I need to complete this. You would launch that skill there. All right, you can go to next if you want to, or you can go to your submenu here. You can scroll down and say, okay, now I need to do the project exam. All right, and when you're done with your project exam, you guessed it, you would scroll down and you would do your concept exam. All of these, you have unlimited attempts. Don't ever worry about any information that's here. You can begin your attempt and off you go. All right, if I go back to Word, it's going to show me that I can get to section 2 and I can get to section 3. They're all set up the same. So if I'm in section 2, again at the beginning, a little bit of information about what it looks like or what you're going to learn. You can go to the exercises. There's exercises 1 and 2. I can go to the next here, and it will bring me to the next project I have to do for the course. Or, again, I can click on this section 2 menu, and I can scroll down, and there those are there. When I'm done with that, I can click on Word, and I can get to section 3. All right. Now you do see this word final exam here. This is optional. I'm not going to have a week designated for this after section 3, according to our calendar, which I'll demonstrate here in another tutorial. But if, hey, word's fresh in your mind, you want to get your final exam done, you can go to this right here. It's actually going to bring me to the final exam location and bring me actually right to the final exam itself. You can complete this final exam. It will be the same as if you went to final exam and clicked on Word final exam. Those are the same two things. Again, you have unlimited attempts. You can take it as many times as you want to, but that's where you will access that. All right. So I will have a week at the end of the semester designated just for your final exam. But if you want to complete it while it's fresh in your mind, please do. Here's Excel, sections 1, 2, and 3, and there's the final exam. Do you have to complete the final exam when you're done with Excel? No, that's an option. You can do it at the end of class, but you will want to, I would suggest maybe doing it while it's fresh in your mind. If you click on the exercises, you need to complete those. If we go back to section 1, you got the skills check exam, the project exam, and the concept exams. And you can go to this location here and complete those. All right. I can always go back to Excel. That's going to bring me back to the main page here and do these. And again, I will have where these will be, you'll be responsible to complete these on a weekly basis. But if you don't get it done in the week that that you're expected to have done according to the calendar, you can go back and do it. You will always have access to these throughout the entire course. You will have a final day where you won't be able to access them anymore at the end of the semester, but until then, you can go back and do these at any time. I will just have your grade updated through the section that week's calendar says that must be completed. All right, but you can go back and do these at any time. All right, so there's all of your exercises. There's everything that you need to do. If you're going into PowerPoint, all right, we're in PowerPoint now. Here's our sections for PowerPoint and the final exam for PowerPoint. Please remember that final exam you don't have to do at the end of that section. There will be a week at the end of the semester designated for that if you look at your calendar. However, it is nice to maybe knock that out. It's fresh in your mind. Get that done while you have worked in PowerPoint. Access, here's Access. All right, we've only got 2 sections in Access, and then there's your final exam. But they're all set up very similar, exactly similar throughout. All right. Now, when you get done with an assignment, you can go to the gradebook and look at your grade via the gradebook. But again, you can see what you got on your specific assignments. You can go to the students' components. Yours may look a little bit different. You guys can play around with these, get to see your grade. However, your final grade will be determined in e-learning. So you will want to go to your grades in e-learning. And so again, I will have another tutorial on your grades and how to check them, but that is where you want to look at your final grade. So that's a little bit about Cirrus and getting your content and where you will be completing your assignments. I hope that helped to kind of understand how it's set up. And if you ever have any questions, again, please let me know. And if you ever need any help, if anything is not working, if something is broken or something like that, please remember that you do have that help on our course for you to go in and ask there for tech help. That would be your first line of defense, is to, okay, so I'm struggling, something's not working right, is to utilize their tech help. And I have that link in our course. So, all right, well, you can start working on your assignments right now. Please don't forget to watch my other tutorials in regards to your grading and activating your accounts if you need to. And have a great day.